Welcome to the Tonya Hofmann's fabulous TV show. I'm your host, Tonya Hofmann, and as always, I have an incredible, fabulous guest star today, Miss Brigette Callahan. Hey, Brigette.
Hey, Tonya, how you doing?
Good. So we're going to hear all about her. Oh my gosh, y'all are going to love, 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 love her. But first, we want to remind you, we want you to go out and change the world from the front of the room too. So go to Public Speakers with an S, Association, all spelled out.com to find out all the details about how you too could go out, get your name known, your message heard, and really change some lives. And if you're looking for a speaker, guess what? We've got a few. So go check us out. All right. So Brigette, tell us what's going on in your world. How fabulous are things going nowadays?
I'm having an amazing time. I work with speakers and I help them to up-level their PowerPoint presentations, or if they use Keynote on the Mac, I work with that too. And it really is about how their slides mimic their expertise. So it raises their level of expertise and they actually feel more confident in front of the room. And the beautiful thing is they get that wow factor. Their audience is very engaged and they get what they're saying. And if they're selling something, they run to the back of the room or they go away inspired. Whatever intention you have as a speaker, I want to make sure we meet or exceed that intention, and the audience is thrilled that they came.
I love that we're talking about PowerPoints today, because my conference is coming up and you're going to be one of our incredible speakers. I can't wait to see you on stage.
I'm so excited to be there, yes.
And one of the things that I always cringe is when someone starts their PowerPoint, because you're like, all right, let's see what kind of disaster this is going to be. And it's so sad that every time I have that going in, because most PowerPoints are just lacking, right?
Yeah, it's sad. I mean, I've been doing this work for 30 years and I've been in a lot of large rooms and small rooms. And I'd say the majority of speakers aren't getting it. They're not mimicking their expertise with their PowerPoint slides. They think someone like me doesn't exist, so they have to do them themselves. And it's like, I could change the oil in my car, but I don't do it. So why are you doing your own slides,
My favorite was a guy at an event, and he gets up on stage and he starts his PowerPoint. And the first thing that came up is 100 ways I'm going to help you with whatever he was talking about. And we had 10 minutes on stage.
Oh my gosh.
100 in 10 minutes. I'm like, that's like, boop, boop, boop. I mean, of course he never finished, right?
That was a missed expectation of the audience listening, for sure.
Yeah, scalability, right?
Yeah.
So when you start helping people with PowerPoints, what's one of the first ones that you're like, okay, because you probably ask them to see what they've already made, right?
If they have slides, I would love to see what they're used to or what they've experienced. If they don't have slides, I can work from scratch. They can just give me an outline. And in some cases, I've worked with speakers that didn't even have an outline. And we just jump on a call and maybe talk for about an hour and we'll create the outline together. So I really like to partner with the speaker and what works best for them. And then how can we elevate that? And then beyond that, I would work with them on making sure that their stories are coming across, because I'm all about the audience experience. I hate to say this, but I don't care about the speaker. I care about the audience. And I want to make sure that they get the best of you. So I work with the speaker in conjunction with I'm the audience, or the outcome is for the audience. And so with that, we work together. We create the outcome from the start. It's like, what do you want to happen when you walk off stage? What do you want them to go away with? We create that, and then we close the gap in the production of the slides in your talk to make sure that is met.
I love it. Because I know I cringe when I see a gazillion words on the screen and everyone's sitting there reading, right? Not listening to the person anymore.
And what happens to the brain is when you're doing that, you stop listening. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to put a slide up that has a bunch of text, then walk off the stage. You don't need to be there.
I love it. And a lot of times people don't realize eye fatigue, right? That all that white in a dark room, it starts blinding people.
Yes. I believe in dark backgrounds and light text, because our eyes are attracted to the light, okay? And even in light rooms, in some cases, it could switch a little bit differently if it's a really bright room. But for most cases, when you're looking at slides, just like television, you're looking at the lights, you're looking at the bright, shiny objects. And your text, if you want them to read, or your images, they're going to really engross themselves in these great images if you don't have a lot of distraction around them. So I always believe in full frame images. Don't slap it on a white background. Oh my God, you're going to kill me if you do that.
Right. I know there's so many like little things that people really need to ask you about, right? And have a conversation, because just little details can make such a huge impact.
Well, and it's funny, I'm working with a speaker now. Let's just say he used to work at Microsoft, and he's used Microsoft slides that they designed for him, and he was used to it. And he sent it to me. He says, "What do you think of this?" And without stepping on Microsoft toes or whatever, I gave him my honest opinion. I said, "I like the colors. I like that it's colorful. And here's where it misses." And I spent about 5 minutes on a video share that I sent to him. And I opened his world. He's like, "Oh my God, you really are an expert at this. I never really looked at it that way." And I showed him where they put borders on the image, or they had all this graphics on the slide as like a background that's actually distracting from the information. Mm-hmm. And the way they were doing animations, these little animations that go from the side, I was like, no, that's amateur. Yes, Microsoft designed that, yes, but that doesn't mean you use it.
I know. Well, I think because a lot of times we see somebody do it and they've done it professionally and it looks great, and then we try to do it ourselves and it looks like we did it ourselves, right?
Well, and I think most people have seen a boring presentation and they're really not sure it was boring, and they see that's how it's done, so they do it. Yeah. And it's just perpetrated. So when I deliver my webinars, I show a before and after of what's great slides, and most people never seen what a great slide looks like. And when they see it, they're like, "Oh my God, how'd you do that? What template did you use?" And it's like, it's not a template. It's not about a template. And when they see that, there's like, "Oh my God, now how do I close the gap to do that myself?" And, I bring in my experience of 30 years of graphic design and visual consumption. I'm an avid TV watcher. I love media. I love video. I love movement. And today our attention span is less than 7 seconds. A goldfish is 8 seconds. Yeah. So we don't have much time to capture their attention and hold it. And so I help you with that, with the visual information that you deliver in your talk.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people use it. I know when I first started, PowerPoint was very important to keep me on track, and it helped me kind of guide me through my presentation without getting so sidetracked and everything. But a lot of what it was a pure crutch. Instead of using it as what it's really meant to do, is to have some visualization to your powerful words, right?
Well, let me speak a little bit to that, because I was working with a client and she was doing a 3-day event, and the second day of her event was her offer. And she was really nervous because she was going to make her offer that day. And so the night before, she called me into her hotel room and says, "Can we go over the slides?" And I said, "Great." We made some minor changes. And then I made a comment, because I was there at the whole 3 days. And the first day I saw her present, and I just had, some coaching. I said, when you want to go to your next slide, click before you finish your sentence. So you're still talking to that slide, but click before you go to that next slide, because it tells the brain of the audience, "Oh, okay, we're going to talk about something else," but they're still listening to what you're saying. It's tailing end, and it's actually going to speed things up, because a lot of times speakers will go to their next slide, then they pause, they look at their slide, and then they go to it. And it's kind of this pregnant pause that doesn't work. And it throws off your audience cadence, and so it diminishes your professionalism. So when I told her that, she looked at me and was like, "Can I do that?" I said, "Of course." She goes, "Isn't that cheating?" I says, "Absolutely." She says, "Well, then I can know what I need to say next." I said, "Yes, correct." So you won't pause. You'll see your next slide, you'll finish your sentence, and then you can go into your next story without this crazy pause. And she nailed it. She said, "That was the best secret you ever gave me, Brigette. That was worth 10 grand. Just that one right there." So it's those little things that I've experienced through the years of getting the cadence right and delivering your talk. And when do you get animated? When do you get quiet? When do you ask a question? When do you pause? There are some times when you want to pause. If you ask a question, let them think about it.
When I help people put together presentations and teach them kind of how to be a speaker, I'm like, if you're constantly talking, they're not absorbing, right? You have to realize that everything is a moment for them to absorb what you just said. And if you're just running one run-on sentence with another run-on sentence, they can't ever catch up. You know, you have to stop and let them absorb, especially if it's something that's powerful or they need to think about it for a second, so that then when you're going on to your story or, you know, you're going on to the next tip, they've already thought and kind of congested it like.
Yeah, I call that vomiting on your audience. Instead of engaging them and interacting with them. And how do you interact with them? I mean, you can see their faces, you can feel their energy. And when you have that wow factor present, oh my God, that just gives you 10 times more energy. And it brings out your expertise at another level. And it's like, I'm nailing this.
I love that.
Yeah.
So when you have people kind of approach the PowerPoint, you know, because it is a very effective tool, but then it can also backfire, right?
Yes.
And I've seen it do both. I think a lot of it is knowing that it's a visual item that you're using. And so to pick the right image is really important to go along with what you're talking about. It's not just, here, let me throw up this, you know, icon or whatever. Have a meaning for it, an actual visual that, you know, is kind of juicy. That's the only way I could think about it.
Yeah, you know, you really want to think, if you're in the, you know, it's hard for us to, you know, as presenters to think how the audience is going to think, but you really got to project yourself out there, put yourself in their shoes. And it's like when you're going to say something and you have this image up, what are they going to think? And I tell speakers, I ask them when I first worked with them, I said, what is your audience, what is the listening of your audience? And they're like, huh? I said, what are they listening for? What do they know about you that they're coming to this talk? What are they expecting to get out of you? And are you going to meet or exceed those expectations? And some are going to come in with certain expectations. Others, you know, they're not so sure. And others are just going to be convinced they're going to be bored. And can you convert that? Can you wow them anyway? And so having that wide listening of the room, then you can speak to that. And what's cool about visuals that don't have a lot of text, you're not married to it. You can change up the story however the listening of the audience is. So it takes a lot of practice. I have one speaker that's just a rock star. She practiced 20 times before she went up on stage. And she did really good, but she didn't do as good as she liked. So we worked on it some more. And the next time she freaking nailed it. And we're talking a 35-minute talk where she sold her package and made a high 6 figures from 35 minutes.
Nice.
So she was pretty excited about that. So it's amazing what you can do with practice. So is practice part of slides? Yeah, you want to know what your cadence is, your timing. That is huge in raising your professionalism.
What would you suggest for people when they show the slide of themselves and their family? Because it seems like, you know, people are like, throw up, here's my, you know, perfect little family picture, you know. And I'm wondering always about that. I'm like, does that really connect people to them? And how could they make that part better?
It depends on how they portray it and how they talk about it. I mean, I bring up a slide of the fact that I'm a third degree black belt, and I show a picture of me in karate class. And I would never do that, but a friend of mine says, Bridget, you got to tell stories about yourself and how that's important. And I think because of that, why it's important is I am acutely aware of my surroundings from all that training. You're just acutely aware of what's around you. And when you're that way and you have that muscle built, you're listening for what the audience is hearing. And you're making sure, is the audience getting served? Are they getting what they came for or more? And how can we make this better? You know, so I'm really, when I'm at a presentation and I'm working with a speaker, I'm holding that space for their success. Yeah. And just in holding that and that intention, it pulls it. That makes sense.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people just do it just to do it because they heard they're supposed to do it.
Well, that's a level. It's not high level, but it's a level.
So you see, you're like, okay, there's a slide about their family. Okay. Oh, look, they have a dog. Okay.
We'll call that white belt level.
I love it. So I know you've got something amazing to gift our listeners. What is that?
I do. I have this report that I created. It's called the 7 Costly Presentation Mistakes that every presenter, every speaker must avoid. And to get this report, it's at this link I'm going to give to you. It's a bit.ly link. So it's bit.ly/EZ and then the word compelling. So EZ COMPELLING. And that will get you to the link to download my free report.
So is easy compelling all together, or is there a dash?
No dash. All one word.
All one word. All right. So bit.ly, y'all, go to the bit.ly, remember bit.ly / and then easy compelling. Okay. 2 L's, remember.
You want to make your slides easy and compelling.
Yeah. Make sure you jump on that like right now, because you're going, I really do need some help. And then while you're there, make sure you get connected to Brigette. And if you're going to be, of course, you're going to be at the Public Speakers Conference, July 6th through the 8th in Vegas, baby. Shake and give her a hug, and then also don't forget to book her for your next show, your next event, your next conference. Because obviously if she's on my stage, she's that good. So,
thank you.
Well, thank you, Brigette. Thank you, everybody. We will see you next time on the Tonya Hofmann's Fabulous TV Show. Thanks.
Awesome. Bye.